It often surprises me that still in this day, it's 2019, January 2019, that I still come across people in the web development space, meet with clients or stakeholders or people where their view to the effort required to plan a new project, a site, an app, a marketing project, is all about the immediacy and now. And I'm unclear whether it's a victim of just people in general or the environment that we live in, such as, it's a real instant gratification world with social media and things like that. But I'm not sure there's many things that you do well at that don't require either a degree of practice, but certainly a degree of planning. Few businesses succeed from the seat of their pants. Sometimes they start that way, but without proper planning and guidance and things, then we don't really get the results we want. Great sports efforts don't come from no training and coaching and planning. And, great meals, the same thing. You need to know the recipe, you need to know the ingredients, you need to take the time sometimes to learn the skills. When I first wrote the Complete Website Planning Guide a few years ago, 3 years ago now, I was surprised even at that point, having been in the industry for 20 years at that point, just over 20 years, that there still wasn't a comprehensive sort of guide and way to do it. It's like, here we invest lots of money, and lots of money isn't necessarily $50,000, $100,000. Dependent on the business, a startup person trying to do a solo entrepreneur business, a lot of money can be simply a few $100s and a lot of time on their behalf. But a lot of businesses are engaging agencies like my own or others, freelancers, internal resources to build these things. And we all recognize that online is a really critical part of the marketing environment that businesses have to operate in. I mean, you just can't avoid it. You can deny it. You can say that your business doesn't get any business, will never get any business. That's fine. You put your head in the sand and do that. And look, I recognize there are some instances of business that just don't need it. And typically they come from people that have such a long-standing profile, an expert in the industry, that they can get away with it. Now, they certainly could maybe do better. Maybe they don't need to, and that's fine. But the real reality of it is that most people have to operate in an online environment if they want to be successful with their business. So then why aren't we planning? Why aren't we doing the work? And it's not just that the frameworks don't sit there, because look, you can do it without a framework. You can sketch it out on bear coasters, napkins, any of those things work. The framework or the tools aren't really the point. And I think what I've rapidly over a period of time to come to the conclusion is, very similar to why we have health epidemics and all sorts of other things, is that, it's that willingness to put in the hard work. People will always take the shortest route. It's human nature. We'll take the easiest route. We're happy to whinge we don't get the results. I'm overweight, I'm not fit, I've got injuries because I don't stretch, my website doesn't work, doesn't do what I want, the team that I got to develop all rubbish, all of those things you hear, and invariably there was a shortcut taken. So it intrigues me, and obviously it's something we work with regularly, and people that buy the book or use the book, I get really great feedback from them. But quite often it's in a client meeting where you get that resistance, that people want to rush through that process. You can accelerate development when you have a great scope and a great amount of information, where the content's been thoughtfully prepared and the artwork's all done. But I'd love to hear from other developers and other designers how many times their projects are held up waiting on clients because they're not prepared to do the work, and they're not prepared to put in the effort, and they'll always leave it to the last minute, and then they compromise the quality of what they do. Let's just put that up now, we'll get to it later. And of course, later very rarely comes. So it's a really interesting concept. Anyone in the creative space working on projects has to deal with it. It varies. We have lots of great clients that do the planning and effort, and we obviously tend to steer that way. But if you're out there and you're thinking about how do I get great results with any form of online marketing, your web, the tactical campaigns, whether it be in search optimization, paid advertising, social media, email marketing, all of these things, the success, I believe, comes from the amount of planning and effort you put into them, and that is not a quick fix. There's no just add water and stir. You can read all the guru things you see. That's not the reality of it. And the successes you wish to emulate come from people that put in the planning and do the hard yards. That's my thought this week.